Step right up. Climb aboard. The caravan is waiting.
The Junkman'S Gift. Every town has a bruise. Mine was shaped like a man. They call me Marlowe's Hollow. Population? Not much. A couple hundred souls, a few more buried. I was founded in 1843, built on clay and old promises, and I've been here longer than any of them. Seen fathers become monsters, mothers disappear in the middle of the night, and children born with secrets already in their mouths. The year this all happened? 1987. Right before color started bleeding out of everything. Right before the screaming in the wires began. I've got a diner with sticky menus, a gas station that still smells like leaded dreams, and a church that rings louder than the guilt inside it. My streets whisper when no one's around. My trees remember screams. But if you ask anyone around here, they'll tell you I'm a good town. Nice folks. Quiet place to raise a family. No real trouble, not like the cities. That's what they'll say. But every town's got a pile where it hides the mess, the broken things, the rusted sins. Mine lived at the edge of town in a yard made of scrap, and it had a name. Well, it had a few. Trash Ken, Junkyard Pat, Grease Goblin, Tinback, that goddamn thing that walks. They called him whatever made them feel safest, because none of them ever called him by the name his mother whispered once before disappearing for good. And none of them ever looked him in the eye long enough to see he only had one that worked. He was born with bones bent the wrong way, skin like clay that never finished hardening, one shoulder perched up high like it was listening, spine bowed like a question mark, mouth too small for all his teeth. He was ugly, sure, but they made him monstrous. They laughed, threw bottles at his gate, told their kids not to go near him, then dared them to do just that. And Ken? He never came into town, never raised his voice, never said a damn word. He just watched, from the mound, behind the wire, among the rust. I kept an eye on him, of course. I keep an eye on all my rot. But I'll tell you something now I didn't understand back then. He was the only one here who never lied. That thing in the junkyard, they thought he was the trash. But no, he was just a mirror. And one day, he held it up to all of us. That's the day the lights changed. The day I stopped being just a town and started becoming a grave. It happened the night the power blinked, just for a second. A little flicker, barely enough to notice. The kind of moment you blame on a squirrel, or a transformer, or ghosts if you're drunk enough. But I felt it. All my streetlights hiccuped, my radios stuttered. Even the old jukebox in Jim's diner lit up for half a beat, playing a note from a song no one could name. And out at the edge of town, in the junkyard that wore the sky like a scab, Ken felt something different. He was sorting metal by moonlight, his own kind of logic. Tires with tires, wires with wires, dead TVs like tombstones. Somewhere near the back, under a rusted-out freezer and a pile of axle rods, he heard a hum. A sound not made by wind or engine. Something that didn't belong. It was like a heartbeat made of static, a memory trapped in a machine. He dug for hours, his crooked hands peeling away iron and fiberglass until he found it. A black lump of scorched metal, melted smooth on one side, spiked and serrated on the other, like it had broken off from something that shouldn't have been flying. Small, heavy, cold to the touch, but it pulsed, deep in the bone, like the echo of a name he didn't know. Ken stared at it, not afraid. He never feared broken things.
"You're junk too,"
he whispered. He cradled it like a child, took it into the shed at the center of his scrap kingdom, lit one bare bulb overhead, laid the object on a workbench made from 2 fridge doors and a church pew, and the thing clicked.
Ooh.
He moaned, staring at it. No lights, no flash, just a quiet tick, like a pin dropping on another world. Ken's eye twitched. His mouth moved, though no words came. Something was fitting inside his head, like a tooth finally finding its socket. That was the first night he didn't sleep. The crows came back the next morning, dozens of them circling above the yard like funeral guests who arrived early. By the end of the week, the dogs refused to walk past the gate. One child swore she saw the junk shifting on its own, like it was breathing. Ken never brought the object into town. He didn't need to, because the moment he touched it, the town came to him, in fragments, in dreams, in static bleeding from dead radios and forgotten VCRs. He saw it all. He saw their trash. He saw the mayor crying in a closet with a bottle of gin. He saw a cheerleader burying something small in the woods. He saw the preacher's hands where they weren't supposed to be. He saw you.
"I understand now,"
he said to the heap one night, his voice calmer than it had ever been.
"Trash tells the truth. You just have to listen to it long enough."
And so he listened, and built, and changed. I tried to stop it. I did. I twisted my winds, rattled my fences, poured cold fog over the junkyard in the night. But the thing had already rooted itself, not in the dirt, but in him. He didn't just carry it. He absorbed it. Over days, maybe weeks, time got slippery. Ken began to change. Not all at once. Subtle, awful things. He moved faster now, despite the crooked spine. Limbs jerking like meat on strings, but with purpose. His skin turned pale, thin like paper held to a bulb, veins like wire. His good eye grew clearer, while the bad one never blinked again. Neighbors said they heard music from the junkyard after midnight, music from no decade they could name. One man claimed he saw light flickering from inside a broken TV on the edge of the yard, and in it he saw his father, dead 10 years, screaming without sound. But you want to know the worst part? He started speaking. He hadn't spoken in decades. Not really. Grunts. The occasional cough. Maybe a muttered curse at a crow. But now he was talking. And what came out of his mouth wasn't quite right. Not loud, not raving, just placed. Like puzzle pieces delivered to the right ears at the worst time. It started at the gas station. He walked in barefoot, covered in grease and flecks of foil, holding a crushed walkie-talkie like it was a Bible. Didn't buy anything, didn't touch a thing, just stood behind Kara Hensley while she filled her cup.
"Your son's under her bed,"
he said, calm, hollow.
"Every time he cries, she shoves a sock in his mouth. Ha ha."
Kara dropped the coffee, scalded her wrist, didn't say a word. The next day, he passed Mr. Brooks, the high school principal, on Main Street. Didn't stop walking, just tossed the words over his shoulder like trash.
"You think it was a miscarriage. It wasn't."
Brooks turned pale. Looked like someone punched the air out of him. He didn't show up to work the next day, or the next. Then came the butcher shop, a quiet Tuesday morning. Ken entered while Elliot Pike bagged his liver cuts. Ken pointed behind him.
Your wife still goes to the basement. Same circle, same names, same blood. They play a dangerous game.
Elliot screamed, because he understood and because Cindy was standing behind him, holding a box of chicken thighs, and Cindy fainted before she hit the floor. He did this for days, wandering the town like a prophet of rot. No weapon, no threat, just a voice full of static and precision. And every time he said something like that, he was right. People got scared. Then they got angry. Sheriff McGreevy went out to the junkyard with a flashlight and a fat magnum on his hip. He didn't come back. What did come back was his car, left idling outside the station at dawn. Blood smeared across the seat, a single tooth in the glove compartment. No note, no keys, just his gun dismantled, each bullet melted down and reshaped into something that looked like a miniature ear. Soon after, Ken stopped coming into town. He stayed inside the scrap, under it, with it. Piles rearranged, towers emerged. Rotors and microwaves and child-sized mannequins stood nailed to poles, their mouths replaced with speaker grills that hissed static into the air. And then the voices started. Not from Ken, from the junk. Old radios began turning on without power. Washing machines hummed lullabies backward. An old television whispered a list of names on loop, some of them unborn. One girl, Bethy Harper, snuck in for a dare. They found her 3 days later, walking naked down the center of town, eyes rolled white, smeared in axle grease, whispering,
"He's not broken anymore. He's the machine now. He's the thing. He's the thing."
And I just watched it happen. I watched the pieces click together. I watched my bruise swell, because Ken was building something. And I knew what he was building the moment I felt my power lines pulse. It happened on a Sunday. Church was full, the pews swollen with sweat and judgment. Jim's Diner had a line out the door, a birthday party at the park, a flea market humming in the elementary parking lot. Just another day in Marlowe's Hollow, until every screen blinked on. Radios, TVs, even the ancient Zenith in the gas station window. No signal, no network, no power in some places. Didn't matter. They all showed him. Ken's face, lit by pulsing scrap light. Wires webbed around his head, metal sewn into flesh. His spine looked like a row of tailpipes. His mouth moved like a rusted hinge. And he spoke.
"This is a test of your humanity. Don't worry, I won't keep you long."
His voice wasn't his. It wasn't anyone's. It sounded like everyone layered together, like a scream under a lullaby under a dial-up tone.
"Marlene Anders poisoned her father's stew. Richard Pike buried the girl behind the lumber mill twice. Nora Bell's baby was born dead, the one she never told Peter about. Father Caleb's been screwing Ellie Dorn every Thursday in the confessional. Benji Crowder watches the middle school girls' soccer practice. Says he's there for his niece. Deputy Hale didn't shoot that drifter in self-defense. He laughed while he did it. Angela Rick's son isn't yours, Frank. The mailman came by more than just Mondays.
One by one, name by name, secret by secret.
Russell Tibbets pushed his daughter, Cassie, down the stairs twice. Told her not to scream the second time. Pastor Clay eats the communion wafers alone in the dark and whispers, "I forgive myself." Carolyn Walsh lets her mother die a little more each night, one missed pill at a time.
Even the dead ones, especially the dead ones. The town froze, then it boiled. People ran. People screamed. One man tried to bash in his own ears with a brick. Another hanged himself with Christmas lights in the church bell tower. The mayor collapsed in the road, pants around his ankles, crying that,
"The baby wasn't mine."
Some tried to fight back. They drove trucks through the junkyard gates, only to disappear in a wave of rising scrap, like the heap had swallowed them whole. One woman set herself on fire in front of the courthouse, shouting,
"I didn't mean to leave him in the tub."
It didn't matter anymore. The junkyard was humming now, growing. Towers built from rotors and rust turned like windmills in a storm that hadn't come yet. And, at the center of it all, Ken, or what was left of him. His body was welded to a throne made of stoves, bumpers, and twisted signs. His face stretched into something long and narrow, skin fused with screen glass. Wires spilled from his mouth, looped through his arms like veins. He was beautiful in the worst way. Not healed, not fixed, reassembled. The way only garbage knows how to be. Wrong, but whole. He looked into the lens of a cracked camcorder mounted to his shoulder, and he whispered,
You made me. Now watch yourselves rust.
They never found his body. The yard collapsed 2 days later. Not exploded, not burned, just sank, like it got tired of holding secrets. A crater of twisted chrome and bone, crows circling like haloed vultures. The screens went dark. The static stopped. People left, or hung themselves, or forgot how to sleep. And the object, still there, half buried in ash and dirt, silent, just a black chunk of nothing, scorched, melted, broken. It wasn't a weapon, it wasn't a message, it was alien trash, just junk, and it landed here, like everything else, by mistake. But he loved it, I remember. He listened to it, learned from it, built himself from it, just like you all built yourselves from me. I am Marlowe's hollow. I remember everything. I am the dump where you threw your sins. I am what's left when you believe the lie of decency long enough to bury the truth beneath rust.
Funny thing about trash.
Ken once said,
It always floats back to the top.
Thanks for watching. I hope you were scared to death. If your heart's still beating, like and share. And if you dare, subscribe for more delicious horror. We'll be waiting, right here in the dark.